You are now tuned in to The Gifted Gab.
Thank you everyone for tapping in. I have a brand new episode here. I have the homie Sandra, fellow digital creator and host. We got into a lot. We talked about comedy. We talked about therapy, art. We got into a lot about her experiences in the comedy space, her experiences as a digital creator, and much, much more. So tap in. We here. We got a lot more coming. See this right here? Like there's like a knob on this side, on the other side, yeah. Yeah, and then you can kind of tilt it towards you so you can like kick back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, that's an old commercial, right? Not that young, right? Like, is that right? No, it's Can you hear me now?
Can
You remember
hear
that?
me now? Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's
that's
the cell phone
that's
commercial.
Oh
He doesn't
shit,
know.
can't
He
even.
doesn't know.
Anyway, shit. Yeah, this is my weekend. It's kind of weird. I'm off Tuesdays, Wednesdays nowadays, so
It's good that it's like
it's good as back to back.
Yeah.
But like, it's just such an awkward time in the week where like
Yeah.
people want to do stuff on Friday, Saturday. I'm like, I'm working.
yeah.
It's really different, but
Do you like it?
being off or just my new job.
Your new job.
Honestly, it's crazy. I'm seeing a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's been times where people will hoard outside of the street to see different people. I won't name names, but there's been paparazzi. It's been stupid crazy, especially during the last couple weekends. But all in all, it's an amazing job. I can't complain. Better than the last. I love the location, of course. Can't go wrong with Yorkville. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're here. How's everything been with you?
Just trying to get back to reality after being away for so long. And then like work was kind of slow for this past like week or so.
Yeah.
And then it's starting to pick up now, so I'll be getting the bills paid.
How's the trip?
Trip was amazing. I really enjoyed San Diego. Yeah, like that. Like I've never been to the West Coast in the States before, and I think that was like the best first place to go to. I know people will probably be like, LA is that place to go to, but San Diego was just beautiful, and it was it's obviously a lot smaller than LA, but I think I liked that a little bit better. It was more like I got to explore more, where I know that it's a little harder to get around in LA.
Yeah. I went to LA last September, and it's almost like there's too many things to do.
Yeah.
And just adding on to what you're saying, moving around was a mess.
Yeah.
So like if you're in LA, I was there for only like 4 days. I wanted to do, everything from A to Z. I can only do everything from like A to T, so it was tough, but I kind of agree with that. I never been to San Diego, but being a much smaller city,
Yeah.
you still have the views.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, 100%.
You still have the ocean.
The ocean was beautiful, the beaches, the landscapes, and like getting around town was like quick. Like everything was between 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
To like go to the mall. It was really, really, really convenient.
What's the size of it?
It's not a party town though.
It's not a party town?
No. It's the size of Toronto.
Oh, it's big.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
big, yeah.
It's big,
It's something
but
else
it's
to do.
not as big as LA.
It's not like a New York.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Would you go back there again?
Oh yeah. If I like wanted it to a more like low key, like chill with people type of trip, but definitely not a party.
Yeah,
city.
no. But I think like for me when I'm traveling, my purpose isn't always to like party. You know what I mean? Like for me when I'm traveling, I want to like, I need a recharge, or I just want to see something different. I want to get inspiration.
Yeah.
Or
Well, this was it was like my friend's wedding, so like even down to like the bachelorette party, it was hard. Like we literally went to like 5 different places before like settling on a place. And then like everyone was there for the wedding, so it was like, okay, what are we gonna do tonight? You know? So it was a little difficult, but hey, we made the best out of it.
Is that the first bachelorette party you've been to?
No.
Was it the funnest?
No. It's up there.
It's up there. I never been to one myself personally, but the thing that comes to mind immediately is like Best Man. No, not Best Man. What's the movie with Kevin Hart and freaking
Think Like a Man?
Think Like a Man 2.
Yes,
that one?
2. Yeah.
Yes, 2. So that's that. Obviously, it's probably not a good representation of it, but
yeah. No, yeah. Every time a movie depicts it, you're like,
That's
it's
what comes to
nothing.
mind.
It's nothing like that at all. Like,
People getting thrown in jail and shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
no. So you're back now.
I'm back now.
What's
yeah.
on the plate? I seen a couple things you're up to and working on now. But you know,
I don't know, chilling, working. I just, as I told you earlier on today, I just started therapy again. So that was an experience. I know not to book anything else when I have a therapy session.
Yeah.
'Cause it was hard to like decompress.
Yeah, no, and again, like even just to this episode, I appreciate you coming on again because I know, well, actually, I don't know. I've never been to therapy. I feel like everyone needs it, including myself. I know I need it. I just haven't made the attempt
To try it out. Yeah.
just to try it out.
Yeah.
But the thing with therapy is like, how do you know when you found the right person?
It's basically like you treat it like any relationship you have in your life. Yeah, if you're like, you find it easy to talk to this person, because obviously you're being the most vulnerable, you can be in front of this person. So you have to be able to talk to them, and you have to be able to trust them. And you obviously don't know that right away, but I'm big on energy. So if I feel like you're a good vibe, then I'll try you out, and you don't have to stick with that person, right? You can go on, move on, try to find your perfect match.
That's true. I feel like it's such a shame that, before therapy was looked at as something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's a defect with you, and in reality, like I was saying before, everyone needs it. One of my favorite movies of all time is Good Will Hunting. And the main character, Robin Williams, plays a therapist. And like, to me, watching that movie is therapy. There's a lot of things in my life that I do are therapy, but I realize that, talking to one might be needed as well too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you don't, it's not like that person. It's not like they're your homie or something like that. So to have like a complete stranger just take in
and
those like deep things about you,
and enter you're literally allowing them to enter your life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trust that needs to be held there.
100%. And then it's like, you realize like, oh, I only have like a 50-minute or like an hour session, and you're like, how am I gonna pack in all this in an hour? But I mean, if the first step is to get in there. So
the thing is, someone that's, for anyone that's been going through something or, battling or challenging something, I think the hardest thing is to talk about something, to talk about it. Where do you even find the strength to do that? It's one thing to talk to like a close family member or a friend about what you're going through. It's another entirely thing to book an appointment, talk to a professional, and make the effort to go to that location.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know how it is at your household, but like my immigrant family, we never really discussed our feelings, and if we did, it was in like not the best way. But like for me and like my future and my health and stuff like that, like that means a lot to me. Like I want to be the best version of myself for the people in my life, and obviously for myself. And then like eventually when I have kids, like I want to be the best parent I can be. And that's really important to me. And I know that being able to talk to someone about it, or talk to someone about, your problems and your traumas, there's something really freeing about it. And I find peace and like release, and like sometimes I've had sessions where I'm crying like the whole entire session, and it's like maybe that's just what I needed, because I'm always like looking for it's different like when you're by yourself and you're in your thoughts, and then like your thoughts make you cry. I feel like that
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah. But then it's different when you're like, oh, like someone that's actually listening to me. Yeah.
So I'm glad you said listening is, even to add on to listening, I think being seen.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people are, when we're going through shit, you want to be seen, you want to feel heard. And when you don't have that, that's where, you end up spiraling into a dark place. I like the fact, like just hearing, just talking about this conversation is great for me, and not only for me, but I think a lot of people that are going to listen to this, because everyone again needs it. But again, I appreciate you even like allowing me to know about this, because like You didn't have to tell me that.
No, I know.
You didn't. You didn't have to say shit.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
you could have said you had a bad day and it kept it at that. You know, just chopped it up, kept it moving.
No, I pride myself in being authentic, and I mean that's not obviously not. I'm not telling everyone everything, but I feel like this is an important thing that I think everyone should experience at least once in their life, and if they get the courage to do that, like you should be very proud of yourself because it's not easy.
You know what it's amazing that what you're doing right now with comedy.
Okay.
Especially hosting. I know it's a complete topic change, but what you're doing now with comedy, it brings light to a lot of lives.
Yeah.
I've always heard the term that there's a very thin line between, comedy and sorrow, where a lot of the happiest and, humorous people are the ones battling the most demons. A lot of comedians, like Robin Williams, for instance, committed suicide as a comedian. And a lot of others. Where do you feel like that ties into what you're doing now with comedy? Because comedy, the way I look at comedy is it's like it's therapy. It's lively. It sheds light on social issues, but also it brings therapy to a lot of people's lives. So what does that mean to you?
Like I guess starting back, like I've always loved stand up and just like any type of comedy show or film. I find, like, I always say that I was raised by television. So just like being able to like escape in that, and then like finding a genre where I'm like, oh wow, like this makes me feel good. Or like this, like, will distract me from whatever I'm trying to run away from. But yeah, like during the pandemic, really got into a lot of podcasts that were like hosted by comedians, and just hearing their stories and like being able to relate to them, and then like learning about their craft and their process and their own journeys in becoming stand-up comedians. I think I thought it was like super inspiring, and I was like, okay, well, where can I fit in this? I don't know if I have the talent or the skill to become a stand-up comedian, but I think that I've done enough things in my career or life that I can figure out a way to fit in this scene or industry.
Arena,
So that's where the idea of bringing people together into a room, into a space where, if they're having a bad day or had a bad week and stressing about the bills and all that stuff, like they can just escape for an hour and a little bit, come have a good time, have a good laugh, be filled with, or like, like being next to strangers and just laughing with them. I feel like it's such an escape of reality.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Yeah. And like the process was awesome in terms of like, scouting for the comedians. I've always loved going to comedy shows and stand-ups. And through creating my own show, I was able to experience so many different comedians and discover new people, and it was such an awesome experience.
Who'd you have on there again?
I had my friend Yaz, this comedian Freddie. I had a comedian named Sam, and Keisha Brownie, and Marlon Palmer, and Crystal Ferrier.
And these are all local Toronto comedians?
These are all, Toronto comedians. So basically, the show is just to showcase Toronto's funniest comics, but in a like just a different experience than going to like an underground basement, sticky floors. You can smell the washroom. The decor is
you can smell a little BO from the guy standing next to you.
Yeah, the decor is not as nice. But I wanted to create something that was visually pleasing, centered around a stand-up show.
Yeah. And I like that because I don't see that often. I don't think I've ever seen that until you've done it in terms of the way it's been produced. A lot of my friends who are comedians operate in what you're just describing, a lot of underground bars. But oddly enough, two of my homies are going on tour. Two of my homies are going on tour. I feel like the comedic space in the city is growing.
Yes, and especially like kind of being involved in it now. Like it's such a small community or like small space, but
like everyone knows everyone.
Kinda, yeah. It's
Really?
insane, yeah. And like again, like trying to scout for the show, I was like, I saw some people like 3 or 4 times because they were just part of the same bill, yeah.
Same set, yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry, excuse me. It was, yeah, an awesome experience, and I hope to do it again.
That's amazing. Hope. Shit, I know it'll happen soon.
I hope so.
So what type of things do you look for in comedians? Because I know every comedian has their own flavor.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own sauce.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own formula.
Yeah.
And some comedians are terrible.
Yeah.
As you know, some comedians are great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think it's important to like actually go out into those spaces and, you know, like experience like some of these comedians a couple times before you make your decisions. But I mean, I honestly have to find them funny myself. I think that'd be stupid if I didn't.
Has anyone like has anyone like recommended you someone and like, yo, you got to get this person on? And you're just like, nah.
Yeah.
Saying it.
Yeah. And then not to say that they're not funny. It's just I don't personally find like we don't have the same sense of humor. But considering that, when I was looking for the comedians, I wanted to find people that could relate to anyone that would potentially come to the show. So not necessarily like I would still find them funny, but maybe you know some guy would find another guy, one of the comedians, like really, really funny.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I had to just think about the different type of audience members that would be coming to the show and kind of find a diverse lineup that would fulfill anyone in that room.
Yeah. Like just have the sense of like making it universal.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I've been to some certain shows. I remember you brought me to one show.
Yes. You
I'm
wanted
not gonna
to walk
say
out.
I was this close to walking out.
No, you were this close to walking out.
I was this close, but I'm like, nah, I can't do that. But then it picked up after. Second half picked up. They had us in the first half.
Yeah. And like, but that's like that just comes with, you know, going to the show. It's like you don't know what to expect. You kind of expect the unexpected. And you just hope for the best that, you know, you're going to have a good time. And it's honestly the most bravest thing you can do is go up on stage for 4 minutes and lay it out on there and hope to God that people laugh. And there's times where it doesn't. And, you know, the fact that these comedians like that we saw that night were able to go out and do it again the next week or that weekend, like round of applause to you. 'Cause like, it's not easy. And, I don't take it lightly at all. So yeah, I'm just here to respect the craft, but also understand that like, not everyone's for everyone, you know?
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. I think going back to what you just said, it teaches you a lot about resilience. Knowing that, you know, you had a trash night. I feel like every comedian has had a bad night.
Yeah.
Any type of pro in any craft has had a bad night.
Yep.
But it's like,
even like Dave Chappelle nowadays, he bombed like recently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Holy shit, where was this?
It was like it's just like a small like smaller arena.
Damn. And that's a real thing too, where I'm seeing these things, I'm like, if these guys quit as soon as they bomb, where would they be today?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's with anything in life, right?
Anything in life, yeah. And that's like I was saying that night, I'm like, I was very close to leaving, but you know, I've heard some stories. I had a comedian here on the other day where when he first started off, he did like this corporate event. Okay. And this is the first he's ever done. He got it recommended to him. And one of the guys basically, you know, told him like, you know, this is easy money. It's like that, like I think it was like 500. Just do it, in and out, you're good, right? So after that, he ended up bombing, and he had like the worst response. I think he got a couple tomatoes thrown at him at this event. Oh, and this is early on in his career too. Like, oh my goodness. Fresh, a rookie. Yeah. After that, he's like, yo, he got PTSD from doing any corporate events. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? So as you know, when you even hosting a comedic event, yeah, that's a risk. Yeah. But how do you bounce back from, you know, having a bad night? Oh man, I mean, I'm not a comedian to put it out there. I'm not a professional stand-up comedian. There's a lot of people that are, and I'm not one of them.
but I think I do have like a good eye for like finding what's funny. But like being able to host gave me insight on how difficult it is, and just like practicing being in front of people just in general, not even having to crack jokes, but just having to bring energy into a room and and like
set the tone.
Yeah, set the tone for the next comedian, and then I also got to work on like writing jokes and seeing how that is, and learning where to kind of trim the fat and like rewrite some stuff. And I have yet to go do another. I have yet to go to an open mic to test these revisions out.
Yeah.
But eventually.
Yeah, I'm there.
Eventually.
When it happens, I'm there.
Eventually.
I went to one set when I was in Edmonton, and a guy, when you say a bad joke and it's just complete awkwardness?
Yes.
A guy actually used that to his advantage.
Yeah.
Like, you probably seen that before.
You have to.
He's like, oh, okay, well, fuck me then. All right, next joke.
Yeah,
like,
there's people that like, and I think comedians are really good at self-deprecating themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you kind of just have to like laugh it off and keep it going. And like those are the things that I see in certain comedians, like being able to just roll with it and pick up, and or like if you lose like your spot, like because obviously these jokes are like memorized,
they're
rehearsed, but you have to deliver it to them like you're having a conversation with the audience. So yeah, there's like little subtle cues that I notice about what certain comedians do, and that's what you got to do. Just watch the greats, do it over and over again, and see how their timing is and the delivery. And
it's an art.
Oh my God, yeah,
it's an art.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So speaking on LOL, just joking. Apologies because I didn't make it. I couldn't make it. I was working that time. But I seen you at a laughter party, and I heard a lot of great things about what you're doing. Okay. I heard a lot of good things about that. What's next for this?
What are you hearing these things from?
Don't worry, I got my sources.
What's my next thing? I want to do another comedy show, but I want to do it on a bigger scale. And like, although the production was amazing, I want to elevate that a little bit more. And kind of get some like bigger names, not in terms of comedians, but like sponsorships and stuff like that, to help with elevating the show. Because what planning the show was easy. I like have done events in the past, like planned my own events and stuff like that. So like getting location and like finding the production crew and like getting alcohol sponsorship, like that stuff's easy. And like I'm thankful for like the network that I have. Like we did it at Studio AM, which is owned by a friend, Anil, and he was able to connect me with like certain production people that could help like record the show. And yeah, like so that part was easy. I think it was being able to like be a producer and then also host at the same time. It's kind of
challenging.
Your head's got to be in two spaces, and that's something I've learned for the next show. Like I want to focus on either doing the production part or hosting. So yeah.
Because I think, when you're wearing multiple hats, it is a bit stressful.
Yeah.
Similar to like when I started this podcast, like I was doing everything, but I realized like you need a team for a lot of the things that you want to pursue full time. Yeah. Especially.
Yeah. I mean, like you can't go through life alone. So.
I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking on, art, because I think this whole conversation has been about art. A lot of times with comedy is art.
Yeah.
You're also a digital creator. That's actually how I met you.
Yes.
I recognize you and known you as a graphic artist.
Yes.
Where did this come from? I want to talk about this because, that's like you're probably one of the most talented graphic artists I know personally.
Oh my God.
Personally.
Wow. Wow.
I don't say that lightly either, but where did that start? Where did it come from?
Well, I've always like been a creative person, like even as a kid. Like I would always like spend hours and hours on like MS Paint, the most the most simplest but the OG of graphic design.
Yeah. Oh, real shit.
Yeah. So I'd, you know, spend so much time there, but like not just that, like I would always like write little like plays on Microsoft Word, like just I was always doing things like that to just distract myself. And yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I actually don't know how I got into graphic design. I initially started web with web design.
Web with web design?
Yeah. I was like, someone asked me to, because I had taught myself how to code. And I took like a coding class in like high school. And so like, you know, doing like Tumblr, like those type of things, like required.
If you know, you know.
Required some coding, and I was able to like, you know, do some stuff. And then, a boyfriend at the time was like, "Oh, well, why don't you like, instead of the behind the scenes on web design, like why don't you do like web development? Why don't you do like the visual side of web, like creating what it looks like, and then having someone code it for you?" And I was like, okay, let me try that out. And then, you know, stumbling on YouTube tutorials of doing that, I discovered I really liked Photoshop, and being able to create something digitally was awesome, because I spent so much time on the computer as a kid. I mean, it's great that, you know, you can like draw or like paint, and those physical, like those talents are awesome and amazing. But being able to, just manipulate things very easily through a computer was so intriguing to me. So I basically taught myself how to do majority of things that I know. And
that's insane to me, to be honest. I remember seeing you work firsthand on one of the graphics I had you do, and I'm like, this is like speaking another language to me.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I mean, you just put me in another room with a graphic designer, they're like, oh, okay, like that's.
They understand, yeah. It's like is it like its own community, similar to comedy? Like, do a lot of you guys know each other?
No,
it's not like that.
No,
okay,
no.
So. Speaking, like a funny story, throughout the pandemic, like I wasn't really doing much. I was still trying to do this podcast, but one of the talents I took up was Final Cut.
Okay.
Like I was editing a lot of my videos, and I was learning a lot, like how to, you know, put different masks on things, and how to, you know, put proper transitions and cues and all these different things. I'm like, okay, I understood it just simply from YouTube. Yeah. That taught me a lot. Shout out to YouTube University.
Yeah, legit.
But I realize I realize now, like a lot of these things could be learned if you just put the time in, and it seems like you have.
Yeah. I'm gonna credit to this to like my childhood and being able to like just be independent and spend time doing stuff.
Shout out to Microsoft. Yeah. I still remember that. I still remember when I think of Microsoft Paint. I remember like the spray paint.
Yep.
That spray. I used to hate it though too, because it never freaking covered any money.
It never
covered shit. Yeah, it's terrible.
It wasn't.
Like, what is this?
Flow right.
It's terrible, man. Like if you move your cursor too quick.
Yeah.
From one side to the other, it would cover like one portion of like a line. I'm like, what is this trash, man? It's terrible.
Yeah.
But shit.
Yeah. So I taught myself how to do graphic design. Obviously, it was like there's like I don't have to just box myself in web. So I just went to full on graphic design, but I was enrolled in a communications program at York University, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I wanted to learn more about graphic design. So I had transferred from York to George Brown, where I was into like a design program. But then I was like, I'm spending my first like semester here, like, or even my first year here, learning things I already know.
Yeah.
And maybe like, I did. It did help me like refine my skills, and like I learned a lot of shortcuts to things, and it made the designing process a little easier, technical wise. But again, it's like I already knew it. So I was like, why am I spending my money? Like I already have like freelance clients and enough to like build my portfolio and yeah.
It's redundant.
Yeah.
I find and this is like my theory, some of the best creators I know are all self-taught.
Yeah.
My brother being one of them.
Yeah.
You know, another individual in the studio being one of them. But it's never through like the traditional scholarly route where you're learning and then all of them become like this, you know, you become like this genius at the end of it. It's usually because you're self-taught, you know, trial and error, and then you made the right connections through networking.
Yeah. Exactly that.
It's
like, it's who you know. I mean, granted, like I had some opportunities where it was solely based on like my portfolio and like how I did in the interview. So like, I think, you know, you could meet this person and like that would help, but getting the experience at an actual like agency and like corporate company, although I didn't like it, was very helpful in terms of just like, like the process, how the design process goes and how it is to work with other people and other creatives and stuff like that, and how that kind of all flows together. So not my choice of job, but it did help me. I learned a lot.
What are some of the pros and cons of like working with an agency? Because I feel like, you know, obviously there's got to be that sense of security with it, but there's also that lack of, I wouldn't say control, but lack of agency you have over the work, I assume, right?
Exactly.
Whereas if you work for yourself, no one's telling you anything.
Exactly. Is that like, you know, a project's given to me at an agency, whereas I can, as a freelancer, decide what projects I want to do. You're right. Like it was a security thing, and you know, you get your steady paycheck. But then you're also, you got to give up creative control, and you got to, obviously, you know, get approvals from multiple people before, you know,
anything gets greenlit.
Exactly. Yeah. And like when you start off in an agency, like at least a bigger one, you're kind of at the bottom of it, so you don't get like the best projects or the most inspiring projects, or the most creative ones. So
yeah, my homie works with one too. He tells me a lot about his experiences, and it's very political. The one he's at right now, it's extremely political. But he's, you know, different strokes for different folks. Yeah, I guess it's not for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, like there's people that like are okay with that and they work well in those environments. Yeah, I am not one of them.
That makes two of us. Shit. Well, anyway, Sandra, again, it was a pleasure having you here.
Yes. Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before I wrap this up?
I
just want to thank you for making it out, because I know, you know.
Yeah. It
was a trek too. It was a trek too. You're coming from, you know?
Yeah. It was a
You're East End. Yeah. It's what it is. We make it though. We make it.
No, but thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I know, you know, we had tried to do this a couple times. I'm so happy that we finally got to do it. I apologize that I was a little late.
Nah, don't. You're good.
Other than that, I don't know what to say.
Where can people reach out to you if they ever want work? Shout yourself out, man. Shit.
Okay.
My platform's your platform.
This is weird talking about myself. But you can find me on Instagram. Ooh. It's Sandra XDEE. That's probably like the best way to get at me. If you want any work done, you can see most of my work on my Instagram. If not, you want to see more, I can definitely send you my portfolio. Look out for the potential comedy show coming up, hopefully this fall. Other than that,
we here. On that note, Sandra, we out.
Bye.